Coming up next, our App of the Week, in which we show you how to use the app and review its accessibility. You can submit your recording for this segment. Email it to us at contactus@blindandroidusers.com.
For episode 130 App of the Week of the Blind Android Users Podcast, this is demonstrating a messaging hub app called Beeper. Beeper. About 3 or so weeks ago, we talked about this on our mailing list, and the whole idea is to be able to bring iMessaging to Android. And so the former founder and CEO of the Pebble Watch, which got acquired by Fitbit, went to work and came up with a messaging app called Beeper. Today, I'll be demonstrating that app and using my Galaxy S21 running TalkBack 13.5 and One UI 5.1. I do want to mention from the offset that in order for you to be able to bring your other messaging platforms like Telegram, WhatsApp, iMessaging, and all of that you will need to install it both on your mobile device and on your computer. By the way, it supports all of the operating systems, Linux, Windows, Mac, and so forth. I'd also like to mention here in passing that the app is not very accessible. It has some unlabeled buttons, and as a matter of fact, if it were not because of the heavy load that TalkBack carries and being able to tell me what those buttons are in some instances, I may not even know what some of those buttons are. However, once you got it going, you'll get a hang of what those buttons are, and I have sent them their feedback, and they've replied telling me that they're going to be working on it. And so if they hear from more of us, this will make it possible for them to even hurry up and get things made accessible. Now, before you get started, though, to set up the app, the whole idea is to make it passwordless. In other words, they're trying to make sure that you don't mess around with passwords and all of that. And so the first time you fire it up, whether it's on the mobile or on your desktop client, for example, you put in your email address and you hit the continue button at the bottom, and it sends you a 6-digit code, and then it asks for it to be provided. You type that in and you tap on continue and follow the prompt thereafter and finish setting up the app. This is how you go about adding your platforms to the client. You go to the desktop app, and on there, you want to find the button that's just before the search field, and it will say button menu. When you hit the spacebar on it, you'll find things like chat network, settings, mark as read. What you need to click on is that chat network, because once you click on that, then you will see all the different messaging platforms that it supports, including Telegram, WhatsApp, iMessaging, LinkedIn, etc., etc. Hit the space bar on the desired chat client that you want to add to it. For example, I added my Telegram to it to test it out. So what I did was, once I arrowed down to Telegram, then I hit the space bar, and at the bottom is a button that says Start or Get Started. Click on that button and it will ask for your information, your username, password, and all of that belongs to Telegram, for example. Upon feeding those in, you tap on the Continue at the bottom. Once that is done, then it will take you to another screen if you have a 2-step verification. That is, you're paying for Telegram. You put that in there. And once that is done, you'll get a message from Telegram letting you know that an app from Helsinki, Finland is trying to access your Telegram. And in that message, there are 2 buttons. There's allow or deny. Once you hit that allow, you are in. Now that I've talked about that, let's go ahead though and show you the app itself. But these are some of the prerequisites if you want to use it on your mobile. I will now navigate to the icon for Beeper and go from here.
Beeper.
Here's Beeper, and I'll tap.
Beeper. Capital W, button, out of pager.
Upon tapping on Beeper, we heard capital W, and I'm not sure if that is based on my username or if this was just what it is. And that button is found on the top right corner of the phone. To the top left corner, however, we have a button that says button, but after TalkBack sits on there for a while, it says menu. And below that, there's a edit, and then to the right of that is a search field, and below that edit field is the inbox. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll now move my finger to the top left corner of the phone.
Button. Detected. Icon. Menu.
That's menu. Move my finger down.
Detected. Icon. Edit. Button.
And to the right of that is a search field.
Search. Out of list.
There is the search. And now below that on the left is the inbox.
Inbox.
There's inbox. So in reality, if you connect a platform or chat client to this app, all of the messages are going to be shown here together, whether it's from WhatsApp, from Telegram, or whatever. They're all going to be showing here because by default, the inbox is activated. Therefore, everything coming in here will be on the screen. For example, if I move my finger down,
Blind Android users chat, 12:54 p.m., Snowsprite, a few apps. Gmail among them, I have a Pixel 6 Pro, Telegram.
as you can see, that's a message coming from the Blind Android Users Telegram group. And so I want to show you something that I find rather fascinating with this app, and that's the fact that unlike the native client of Telegram, whereupon if you read a message and that is someone that sent you a message and you want to be able to read that message line by line, character by character, or word by word, you're not going to be able to do that with TalkBack. However, with this client, you can. So I'll tap on this message, for example.
A few apps. Gmail among them, I have a Pixel 6 Pro.
That's a message from Tab, from our group. Now, I could now switch my granularity to either word, character, or line and be able to read that. So here goes my granularity change.
Words.
And if I swipe down,
Capital A. Few. Apps.
and if I change to character,
Characters. Period. Space. Capital G. M. A. I. L. Space.
now I'm going to switch to lines
Words. Lines.
and swipe down.
A Pixel 6 Pro.
As you can see, I'm able to read that whether it's line by line, word by word, or character by character. Now below there, of course, is the edit field. And to the left and right of that edit field are two buttons on each side of the edit field. I do want to mention here in passing that those buttons are not labeled. However, the last one on the right does say record. Let me put my finger now at the edit field and then move my finger to the right and then to the right again.
Edit box. Out of list. Detected. Text. Send a message.
And now I'll move my finger to the right.
Button.
That's the first button on the right of the edit field that we encounter. Tapping on this will take you to things like the emojis and all of that. Now, moving my finger farther right to the edge of the phone.
Record voice message. Button.
That one does say record voice message. Now, put my finger back in the edit field and go to the first button to the left of the edit field.
Edit box. Detected. Text. Send a message.
And I'll move to the left.
Button.
That one says button, and to the left of it will also say button. I noticed that tapping on this first button to the left of the edit field pops up a couple items. From the bottom left, we've got
Camera.
that's camera, and to the right of it,
Gallery.
gallery. Those are the only two buttons. So that button is to launch your camera. So it should have been labeled camera or attached from camera or whatever relating to the camera / the gallery. Now, the sad part is that if I do a back gesture, it's not going to return me to the message, but it will actually close this conversation. Watch.
Beeper. Blind Android users chat, 12:54 p.m., Snowsprite, a few apps. Gmail among them, I have a Pixel 6 Pro. Telegram, in list.
Now I'll need to tap on this message again to open it.
Beeper. 8:19 a.m., in list.
And now the last button on the left of that edit field on the very edge,
Button, out of list.
that one is to attach different things, including contacts, files, and location. I'll tap. Starting from the bottom left, we've got,
Files.
let's attach a file to the right of that.
Location.
And the last button on the right
Contacts.
is contacts. I'll now go back.
Beeper. Blind Android users chat, 12:54 p.m., Snowsprite, a few apps. Gmail among them, I have a Pixel 6 Pro. Telegram, in list.
Now, though, there's a button at the very bottom right, and that button, which is an icon, simply says unlabeled or just says button, and then it says edit. That button, when tapped on, actually is for your contacts. So whether you're using it with a Telegram that you've added or some other whatever, if you tap that, that is for contacts. Let me put my finger down there. You will hear what I'm talking about.
Button, out of list. Detected. Icon, edit.
If I go ahead and tap on here,
Beeper. Edit box, type a name, phone number, or email.
and if I move my finger down, I'll be encountering a list of my contacts.
Capital A, Alan Malaysia, plus 60.
There's my friend Alan in Malaysia, and of course, this is showing all of my contacts. Now I'll go back.
Beeper. Button, out of list.
Now I mentioned those two buttons up at the top, one on the top left that says menu and one that says W on the right. Let's look at those buttons and see what they contain. I'll start with the one on the right,
Capital W, button.
and I'll tap.
Pop-up window. Settings.
The first thing we encounter is settings, and below that,
Support.
support
Report bug.
and report bug. That's the last one. Now I'm going to go back.
Beeper. Capital W, button.
Now let's go ahead and tap on that one on the top left, and that's the one that simply says menu.
Button, out of list. Detected. Icon, menu.
There's the menu, so I'll tap,
Navigation menu. Button, in list.
and if I move down,
Selected. Inbox, inbox, 6.
we hear inbox 6, move down,
Not selected. Archive, archive.
archive.
Not selected. Low priority, low priority.
It seems to say things twice for some reason, move down,
Not selected. Beeper, beeper, 1.
beeper. So if I tap here, it will take me to messages that are being shown exclusively from Beeper. That is, if the developers have any messages that they've sent, or if I have someone I'm corresponding with using just Beeper, but not either WhatsApp or Telegram or any of those messages will be there. Now, next,
Not selected. SMS, SMS.
SMS. By the way, you can connect your SMS messaging app to it and make it your default as well. Next,
Not selected. Telegram, Telegram, 5.
Telegram. So if I tap here, I would see only messages belonging to Telegram and nothing else. And Telegram's the last one here because that's all I have. Now, I do want to mention here in passing that on the top right corner, we'll find another button that says
Button.
button. And if you tap on that, it returns you to the main UI. Here I go.
Button, out of list. Detected. Icon, menu.
Now let's go to that one on the top right that we saw earlier, and that's the one that simply says W. In here, we'll find the settings.
Capital W, button.
I'll tap.
Pop-up window, settings.
I'll tap on settings.
Settings. Navigate up, button.
Tapping on settings, we have several items, and I'm not going to go into each and every one of these. I may only go into some that I consider to be more important. Starting from the top, here are the items that we find in these settings.
General, in list.
We have General. Let's go in here and see what General contains.
General. Navigate up, button, out of list.
And moving down,
User settings, heading.
we have a heading that says User Settings. Going down,
Profile picture, avatar. Display name, Warcare. Password, set a new account password.
I mentioned something about password. If you wanted to use a password, you can go in here and set a password. But the whole idea is that you don't need a password. Once you log in and it sends you that 6-digit code, then you activate it. And during the process of setting up also, it gives you like a recovery code. There are like 48 characters. You can save that so that in the event that you can't get into it or whatever and you want to recover, you can use that 48 character thing that was generated. You need to keep that safe. Moving on down,
Advanced, heading.
we come across the advanced. Moving down,
Logged in as, at Warcare, beeper.com.
next,
Clear media cache, 534 megabytes.
next.
Do an init sync.
You tap on this, it will sync you between your desktop and your mobile.
Sign out, heading.
Then we come across sign out heading
Sign out.
and sign out. That's the last item there. Let's go back.
Settings.
There we are on the previous screen, and we looked at general, and below that general will be notifications.
Notifications, in list.
Move down,
Preferences.
preferences. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the preferences are.
Preferences. Navigate up, button, out of list.
Starting from the top, here's what we got.
User interface, heading, in list.
We got the user interface, and below that,
Language, English United States. Theme, system default. Font size, normal. Message editor, heading.
we come across message editor, and below that we got
Markdown formatting, format messages using Markdown syntax before they are sent. This allows for advanced formatting such as using asterisks to display italic text. Switch on.
next,
Send typing notifications, let other users know that you are typing. Switch on.
next,
Send message with enter. Enter button of the soft keyboard will send message instead of adding a line break. Switch off.
next,
Show emoji keyboard. Add a button on message composer to open emoji keyboard. Switch on. Take photo or video. Always ask.
next.
Timeline, heading.
We come across timeline heading, and below that,
Inline URL preview. Preview links within the chat when your home server supports this feature. Switch on. Show read receipts. Click on the read receipts for a detailed list. Switch on. Show removed messages. Show a placeholder for removed messages. Switch on. Show join and leave events, invites, removes, and bans are unaffected. Switch off. Show account events. Includes avatar and display name changes. Switch off. Show chat effects. Use confetti command or send a message containing snowflake or party popper. Switch on. Background attachment download, heading.
we come across a background download / attachment, and below that we've got
Enable background download. Automatically download attachments when received. Switch on.
and the last item here,
Auto download also using metered connections. Also do background downloads on metered connections such as mobile data. Switch on.
it's up to you. Now I'm going to go back.
Settings. Navigate up. Button. Out of list.
That was preferences. We continue now. Below preferences, we have the following items.
Inbox.
We have inbox,
SMS bridge.
SMS. So in other words, if you tap on any of these, you'll interact with them.
Contacts.
Contacts,
Security and privacy. Labs.
labs, the things that they're working on.
Advanced settings.
And now we come across advanced settings. Let's go into that advanced settings and see what's contained in here.
Advanced settings. Navigate up. Button. Out of list.
Tapping on the advanced settings and going on from the top, we encounter the following.
Developer mode. Heading.
We come across a developer heading, and below that we got
Developer mode. The developer mode activates hidden features and may also make the application less stable. For developers only, switch off.
In other words, everything here is dependent on this switch. If this is not switched on, most of the things or all of the things below here will not be active. And as it is stated, this is primarily for developers. Here's what we got below that.
Show hidden events in timeline. Switch off. Disabled.
Moving on.
Show debug info on screen. Show some useful info to help debugging the application. Switch off. Disabled. Show complete history in encrypted rooms. Switch off. Disabled. Enable verbose logs. Verbose logs will help developers by providing more logs when you send a Ragashake. Even when enabled, the application does not log message contents or any other private data. Switch off. Disabled.
Now the word Ragashake means rage shake, but it's written as one word and therefore it sounds like Ragashake. Let's move on.
Fail fast. Beeper may crash more often when an unexpected error occurs. Switch off. Disabled. Ragashake. Heading.
Now we come across the rage shake. And here's what we have under that rage shake.
Rage shake to report bug. Switch off. Detection threshold. Shake your phone to test the detection threshold. Disabled. Slider. 50% for detection threshold. Disabled. Dev tools. Heading.
Now we come across DevTools, and there's just one item here, and that will be
Account data. Disabled.
and that's the last item in the advanced. I'll now go back.
Settings. Navigate up. Button. Out of list.
Moving away from the advanced, the next item we come across is
Help and about.
Help and About and
Privacy policy.
Privacy Policy, and that's the last item. I'll now go back.
Beeper. Capital W. Button. Out of list.
I am now back in the main UI of the app. And frankly, that's all that there is to Beeper. Of course, you can connect your different messaging platforms to it and follow the prompt, and you are golden. And remember to write to the developers about accessibility so we'll have something going on. Like I said, you get placed on a waiting list once you make a request to join. It's available now on the Play Store, but you first have to get a message from them saying you've been accepted. I first applied like 3 months ago and I didn't see anything coming from them. Then about 2 or so weeks ago, I applied using a different email address, and within 2 weeks, I got that invitation to come on and download it. And that's how I got in. That's been a demonstration of Beeper.